Welcome back, everybody, to the ninth episode of Golden Gulch. It has been a little while since we've been in this park, and it has been a little while since we've done a time lapse for it, but we are back into it, and right now we are going to be finishing off the very first section of this park, and that is the Western Village that we've been working on for actually, since the series began. So, right now we are going to be extending on this little river thing that we started way back when we were working on the log flume. And that's actually the ending of the river slash lagoon area that it feeds into. But we'll build the starting area for it when we get near the end of the park, since it's actually going to start at the end of the park, or at least that's the plan. But for right now, it's going to practically look like it starts in the little river area near the log flume. So basically, that feeds into this big lagoon area where it kind of makes a curve around the terrain, and we're going to be building on that in future episodes. It's actually going to be an area all by itself, so you guys will see that in future episodes. But for right now, we're just working on this conversion area from the Western Village to more of the out west kind of dirtier stuff, not a bunch of houses and stuff. It's more of the old outback area. So right now we are building the bridge, and then we're going to move on just a little bit past that and make a little converting plaza area, and we're going to put a little bit of planters in there, and then that'll be it for this episode. Not a very long episode for today. It's just building this bridge is the main focal point, and then the next episode I'm sure will be a bit longer, going into what we're going to be moving on into, which I might talk about just a little bit near the end of the episode. But for right now, we are working on this bridge, and we've already placed down the roof. It's basically one long kind of not decked, slanted roof, and then near the middle I have two peaked roofs on top of that, and that's just kind of bringing extra dimensions into it and stuff like that. And I think it makes it look just a little bit nicer, gives it a little bit more fanciness and detail to it, instead of being just a big rectangular box. And something that I noticed once I started building this, after I placed down all these individual planks for the walls, which is going to be the whole bridge. There's not going to be actual any in-game wall pieces. It's all going to be these wooden planks. I meant to make them more of a barn red. I thought that would be kind of a nice look for some type of rundown bridge, but I forgot to do that. So I just kind of left it as this brown, and I'm okay with how it looked or turns out anyway. It's nothing crazy. I don't think the red would have mattered much anyway. It's just a little bit of color variation in general. But it's okay for how it is, and I really don't think I'm going to go over and do all of these planks again. It is a lot of pieces and a lot of copying and pasting to do again. So that's practically the color choice for this. I was going to change the color, but I really didn't, just because it was going to be too much work. But you can see, though, the way I copied around the planks is I actually decided to copy them all and then copy them around with a actual piece on a grid, and that way that they would all go around and I didn't have to keep copying and pasting it, like using the advanced move tool to actually move them around. So that basically we have the whole wall set now, and now we're just going to be doing some detailing to the bridge. So that includes these pillar things that we're going to be adding. We'll be adding some windows just to kind of get some natural light in there. Some lighting, because at night people need to be able to go across the bridge if the park is open extra hours and stuff like that. And you can actually see a little Archer Man in there, making sure that the bridge is high enough for people to be in there. And then right now we're actually making the windows. And then we're going to be doing a bunch of trim with a darker wood that we're doing right now. So that is going to be pretty much it for the bridge as a whole. I kind of just gave you a quick rundown of what's happening. So we're going to be using a lot of different pieces that aren't on the grid. Practically this whole build, besides the roofing, is going to be on off the grid. And I've started to kind of get away from the grid pieces. I've used more of different pieces for different things. And you kind of saw that with the shooting ride that we made, and that POV actually came out a week ago, so you guys can check that out as well. The name has been revealed, and actually I need to reveal that in a video since it was only in that kind of cinematic and POV. I would definitely recommend checking that out, though. I thought it was a really fun and cool video, and you can see the actual people in the game shooting around, and you can see how quick they actually get it, which is really fast how they get it. Like, if you're playing it on your computer, it takes way longer. But we did decided to name it we called that the Remington Shooting Showdown. And thanks for everybody who commented on the videos and suggested names for that. Yes, the Remington Shooting Showdown is what we called it. And in that build, we actually used pictures as walls, and we're doing sort of the same thing here. When I use these, like, I don't really know what they're called, but they are practically borders, almost. And then I put those in the little gaps between the two pathing, or the paths, and that kind of filled the gap there, making it look like you couldn't stick your hand down there or something. So it's just a little bit of that, little details that kind of make it look a little bit better. And then what we're doing, we actually did some path smoothing, which I really don't do, but since the pathing is curving, it really does look way nicer if you do smooth it out. And the way you do that, if you guys don't know, you basically add another spot where you're gonna move the path into a different direction, and then you delete that little entrance area to that part of the path, and that way it kind of curves the path. I don't know why it does it, but it does. And then if you want to delete it for any reason, you do have to click the undo button. You can't right click it, I believe, if you don't like it. So that's the only problem with that. Since if you do right click it, it will delete like the whole path since it's all one now. But that's okay. Undo works just fine. But now you saw me place down a bunch of trees around the riverbank, and I believe that fits a little bit better than just having them placed around the desert. That doesn't really make much sense at all. But then we placed some lighting down. I did some lamps, and I also did some standing pole lamps. And so practically after that, the bridge is done. So we're not going to be working on that anymore. We're moving on to this little conversion area where the path splits part. So one keeps going straight ahead, and it's basically going to follow that all the way down till the end of the park, I believe. And then this area, as I said in the beginning of the episode, we're going to have an area following the lagoon area. So that's where that's going to split off to. And I also did some path smoothing there as well. So one thing that I forgot that we were going to do to this bridge, we are going to put some signs down. And as I said, I wanted a little bit of red into this bridge, so the wording is red. And I was having trouble with this sign leaving the village because I couldn't fit all the words that I wanted onto it, so I just settled for leaving village. I believe that's what I put in there. And now we're just going to try and cover up these little two patches in between the pathing here, and that is going to be the last thing that we're going to be doing in this episode. We're just going to be planting around this, trying to make it all look nice. It'll take a couple of tries. These really won't work. We're going to have to go for like a custom concrete border, and then we're going to place some plants in there as well. So while we're doing that, since it's practically all we're going to be doing, I'll send you guys to a little music session while you guys can watch this happening, and I'll come back to you guys in a couple of minutes. All right, so we are nearing the end of this video. We are just kind of fixing up this side of the part, and then we're gonna basically copy and paste it over to the other side, and then kind of rearrange it to where it fits. But that's gonna be it for the building. After that, we're gonna place down maybe a tree or so, and a little bit of color, pops of color. But that's it for the video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know during the recording of this video, Planet Zoo is currently at Gamescom, and I'm super excited for that game. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do a series on that as well when it comes out in November, or even in when it's in beta. I don't know. Hopefully, you guys are really excited for that game too. If you don't know about that game, there are a bunch of videos with people who play Planet Coaster doing stuff on that. So I'm really excited about that game. Hopefully, we can do some of that, and hopefully that song maybe made you chuckle just a little bit. It was pretty weird song near that end. But that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to have an amazing day.